The film begins by introducing a woman named Luo Zhi, a renowned lawyer known for always winning her cases. One day, she is assisting a man named Mr. Zhao, who is so grateful for her help that he invites her to dinner. As they converse, Zhao is surprised to learn that Luo, an incredibly intelligent and beautiful woman, is still single. This question brings up some old memories she would rather forget. Later, when Luo is a later, she receives a mysterious envelope, and when she opens it, she finds a message saying that someone will return for her home. She is watching TV and sees something about a famous artist who has recently passed away. An art gallery decides to hold an exhibition to honor the artist's work. As she watches, she notices some pieces that connect with her past and decides to visit the gallery. The next day at the gallery, Luo is observing each piece on display, including some of the artist's personal items, when she suddenly notices her lost diary among them. She tries to retrieve it, but the gallery staff stops her. It turns out that taking anything from the exhibition is only possible with the owner's permission, so Luo must wait for the gallery to contact whoever submitted the diary for the exhibition. At this point, the story flashbacks to when Luo was just a child. Luo was returning home, excited because she had found the frog raincoat she had wanted so badly. Luo was so happy, but everything changed when they received the news of a terrible accident that took her father's life. Luo and her mother, Lin, were devastated by the heartbreaking news. For Lin, it was a double blow because, in addition to losing her husband, they couldn't collect the insurance money. So, Lin decided they needed to visit her father's boss to fight for what they deserved. While waiting for her mother to speak with the boss, Luo ended up outside, looking at her frog sticker. It was then that a boy named Sheng Huainan, who happened to be the son of her father's boss, approached her and introduced himself. He invited her to play, but things went awry when some troublemakers started causing problems. Lin rushed out and took Luo home, forbidding her from hanging out with Sheng Huainan. 10 years passed, and Luo was in high school. She was checking her grades on the notice board, and was shocked to see a change in the school ranking after Sheng Huainan, a newly transferred student, took the top spot. Luo, who used to consistently rank among the top 10, now found herself in 11th place. This disappointed her mother, who scolded her for the drop in grades. The next day at school, Sheng Huainan, the boy who secured first place, delivered a speech to all the students. Luo, sitting in the audience, was stunned to realize that she couldn't take her eyes off him, as she hadn't expected Sheng Huainan to be the same boy she had met in her childhood. From that day on, Luo began secretly watching Sheng Huainan, knowing he didn't recognize her as the girl he had played with a decade ago. She even tried to mimic his study techniques, like the way he memorized English words. One day, Luo climbed to the school rooftop, where she knew Sheng Huainan often spent time, and wrote anonymous messages on the wall, hoping he would notice them. During a physical education class, a rumor circulated that a girl named Yi Zhanyan was close to Sheng Huainan, and many students thought they made a perfect couple. Upon hearing the rumor, Luo tried not to feel jealous and focused on her practice with her friends. However, something unexpected happened. Her friend Zheng Wenrui fell on the field and panicked because she had lost her lucky charm. Luo tried to calm her down and took her off the field. Sometime later, Sheng Huainan appeared, handing Zheng Wenrui the charm he had found on the field. A few days later, Luo returned to the school rooftop and was surprised to find Sheng Huainan there, responding to the messages she had written on the wall. After he left, she quickly checked and replied to the messages. This became a daily habit. They exchanged messages on the wall, even though Sheng Huainan didn't know it was Luo behind them. Moreover, Luo made every effort to learn everything she could about Sheng Huainan. She observed how he held his chopsticks and tried to stay close to him whenever possible. Once, Luo and her friends were rehearsing for a school performance, and during the rehearsal, she ended up wearing a plant costume. Yi Zhanyan was the lead singer in the choir and asked Sheng Huainan to play the piano for her. Luo felt jealous and suggested to the teacher that they choose a new lead singer. The teacher agreed and gave Luo the chance to sing the song. Unfortunately, her performance didn't go well, and people laughed because her voice wasn't very good, so she had to return to being a plant, while Yi Zhanyan became the lead singer for the performance. On the day of the performance, Luo and her friends did their part on stage. After everything was over, Zheng Wenrui suddenly confessed her feelings for Sheng Huainan in front of everyone. Sheng Huainan simply smiled, and without a word, walked away with Yi Zhanyan. Zheng Wenrui received support and applause from her classmates for her bravery. Later, Zheng Wenrui told Louis that she didn't regret confessing her feelings to Sheng Huainan, even though it was embarrassing. Louis was surprised because she herself had been hiding her feelings for Sheng Huainan. Sometime later, during class, Louis poured her heart out in her diary, uncertain if she would ever have a chance to be with Sheng Huainan. As the rain began to pour, she ran to the school rooftop to check on the messages she and Sheng Huainan had written on the wall. To her disappointment, she found that the rain had washed away all the messages. Unexpectedly, Sheng Huainan also rushed to the rooftop and noticed that the messages had disappeared. Louis quickly hid behind a wall, not wanting him to see her. Like Louis, Sheng Huainan was saddened and disappointed to see that all the messages he had exchanged with the mysterious person had vanished. Later, Louis was watching Sheng Huainan play the piano in the music room. She felt a pang of jealousy when Yi Zhanyan appeared and tried to get close to him, and her anger grew when she heard new rumors that Yi Zhanyan and Sheng Huainan were dating. Louis began to believe she had no chance with him, so she decided to forget Sheng Huainan and focus on her studies. Her plan was to work hard and become the top student at school. Meanwhile, Sheng Huainan ended up at the bottom of the school rankings because he skipped exams to go abroad with Yi Zhanyan. As the new #1 student, Louis delivered a motivational speech to the entire school, just as Sheng Huainan had done before. She encouraged everyone not to give up on their dreams, no matter the obstacles and failures they might face. Sometime after, Louis graduated from high school and went on to study law at a prestigious university. One day, while cycling back to her dorm, something unexpected happened. She accidentally entered a street where Sheng Huainan and his friends were filming a movie. Suddenly, a tomato dropped right in front of her, nearly hitting her bike. She braked abruptly, and when she looked up, she saw Sheng Huainan, the last person she expected to see there. Still processing everything that was happening, Sheng Huainan's friend, Zhang Mingru, approached her and tried to invite her to join their film. He had noticed her surprised expression and the natural way she handled the situation, thinking she would be a great actress for their project. But Louis declined Mingru's offer and left. Back in her dorm, Louis wrote about the day's events in her diary. She mentioned feeling a mix of happiness and embarrassment at unexpectedly seeing someone she had been trying to forget for so long. The next day, during lunch in the cafeteria, Louis ran into Mingru again. He invited her to join him and Sheng Huainan at their table. Louis felt a bit uneasy sitting at the same table as Sheng Huainan. Eventually, they started talking about their high school days. At first, she pretended not to recognize him, but when he reminded her that they had gone to the same school, she admitted she remembered him as Yi Zhanyan's boyfriend. Sheng Huainan then confessed that he had broken up with Yi Zhanyan, which made Louis happy. Mingru once again invited her to join their short film, and knowing everything that had happened, Louis became excited and accepted, especially since she would be the lead actress alongside Sheng Huainan. Later, during class, Louis and Sheng Huainan found themselves in the same group, and the professor asked them to practice a mock trial scene. Louis took on the role of the prosecuting attorney, while Sheng Huainan played the defense attorney. Louis became deeply engaged in the scene, especially because the case resembled something her father had experienced. She managed to leave Sheng Huainan speechless with her arguments during the simulation. Sheng Huainan was impressed by Louis' intelligence. Sometime later, Luo was working a part-time job at a store when Sheng Huainan showed up and made a huge order, thinking it would help her earn a bonus. Luo just laughed at his funny attempt. When her shift ended, he stayed behind to help her close up the shop and walked her home. On the way, Sheng Huainan suggested that she quit the job, saying the pay wasn't worth all the hard work she put in. But she refused, explaining that she needed the money for her daily expenses. Not long after, Luo got a call from her roommate who was in trouble at a bar. She and Sheng Huainan rushed to help her. When they arrived, they tried to assist her, and Sheng Huainan even attempted to resolve the situation bravely. But in the end, they got caught up in a mess and had to quickly leave the bar. While running, they found a place to hide, but just when they thought it was safe to come out, it started to rain, so they had to take shelter again while waiting for the rain to pass. Sheng Huainan apologized to Luo for pressuring her to leave the job, but she told him not to worry about it. Instead, she thanked him for helping her friend at the bar. Sheng Huainan then shared a bit about his high school days, mentioning how he used to communicate with someone by writing messages on the school rooftop wall. He said he was curious to know who had written those messages and even suspected it might have been Yi Zhanyan. Hearing this, Luo couldn't say anything and just remained silent, unable to admit that she was the one who had written those messages. The next morning, as Luo was getting ready to go to college, she heard an announcement that classes had been cancelled due to heavy rain and the possibility of a storm. Shortly after, Sheng Huainan contacted her and asked where she was. Luo lied and said she was in front of Building 1 on campus. Sheng Huainan asked her to wait for him there. After the call, Luo hurried to the front of Building 1 and deliberately left her umbrella behind. She waited for him, and after a while he showed up and handed her a frog-shaped raincoat, just like the one her father had promised her. This made her very happy. A few days later, Luo, Sheng Huainan, and their friends went to an island to shoot Ming Ru's short film. When the filming was over, everyone boarded a bus to head home. Luo ended up sitting next to Sheng Huainan. At that moment, she asked him what he preferred, sunny, cloudy, or rainy days. Sheng Huainan remembered the message he had read on the rooftop wall and replied that he preferred rainy days, just as he had written back then. Hearing his answer, Luo was very happy and even gathered the courage to hold his hand. At that moment, Sheng Huainan mentioned that he had found the person he had been looking for. From that day on, they decided to start dating. Luo and Sheng Huainan became inseparable on campus, and even at the store where she worked. He would often surprise her and walk her home because he couldn't stand being away from her. One day, when Luo arrived home, she found her mother in a good mood, as she had gathered enough evidence to take legal action against Sheng Huainan's parents. Although Luo was pleased that her father could finally seek justice, she was also worried about her relationship with Sheng Huainan, which might be affected by this issue. The next day, Luo and Sheng Huainan planned to visit their old school. They put on their old school uniforms to relive the good times they had spent there. In the afternoon, they climbed up to the school rooftop to see the messages they had written on the walls, and promised not to forget each other. Shortly after, as Luo was getting ready to return to campus, Sheng Huainan said he couldn't go with her because he had family matters to attend to. Without him, her days started to feel empty, and she didn't hear from him for an entire week. Then one day, Luo received news that Sheng Huainan had abused his influence on campus, leading everyone to talk about his mistake. That same day, Luo was surprised to find her mother waiting for her at the dormitory. Li Lin told her daughter that she had won the trial, and as a result, Sheng Huainan's father was sentenced to prison. Sheng Huainan's mother, shocked by the judge's decision, had to be rushed to the hospital. Upon hearing this, Luo felt sad, fearing that she might lose Sheng Huainan. She hurried to the hospital, hoping to find him, but to her surprise, she saw Yi Zhanyan there, accompanying Sheng Huainan's mother. Yi Zhanyan, who had discovered Luo's past through his diary, which she had secretly taken, told Luo that she should forget about Sheng Huainan, as they were leaving the country again to continue their studies. Hearing this, Luo decided to abandon her plans with Sheng Huainan and move on. Back in the present, at the art gallery, Luo finally recovered her diary. Upon opening it, she was surprised to see that Sheng Huainan had also written about everything that had happened in the past. He wrote that Yi Zhanyan had told him about Luo's diary and even handed it to him. After reading everything Luo had written, Sheng Huainan realized how difficult her life had been and how much she loved him. After high school, he discovered which university Luo was attending and enrolled there just to be near her. Sheng Huainan also wrote that he was initially confused about how to approach her, especially with the family problems they were both facing. He could only watch her from afar, particularly when his own family encountered serious issues that forced him to stop studying and take temporary jobs to support them. When Yi Zhanyan invited him to go abroad, he refused because he found the inspiration to become independent by reading Luo's diary. Even now, every time it rains, Sheng Huainan can't help but think of Luo, who has become a successful lawyer. He feels a bit unsure about how to approach her, but he's determined not to let her slip away again if he gets a second chance. After writing all his feelings in Luo's diary, Sheng Huainan hopes that she will read his story someday. Meanwhile, while packing his things, Sheng Huainan found a cassette tape of the film they had made. Watching it, he couldn't hold back his tears, missing the girl he loved. At that moment, he received a call from the gallery saying that someone wanted to retrieve the diary he had submitted for the exhibition. In the film's final scene, Sheng Huainan meets Luo in front of the gallery. Despite the awkwardness, she repeats the question she once wrote on the school rooftop wall, and he confesses that he loves her more than the rain. Hearing his answer, Luo felt radiant, as it meant they could finally be together. In the end, this story shows us that love can overcome difficulties and come back stronger when two people are determined to face their problems and openly express their feelings.